Good morning. My name's Chris Berry. I'm the next one up. Um, I'm a therapist. I have a master's degree in social work. I continue to be stunned by the fact that I've been doing this work in the field for 19 years. Theoretically, I'm qualified for a whole bunch of roles: child welfare, medical social work, hospice work, school social work, advocacy, lobbying. But I've only ever really been interested in doing mental health work since the field. I'm nearly 20 years in. I'm still not sure why that draws me, but it does. And doing small scale work in mental health. I've been encouraged most of my career to work at a larger level, systemic level in management. It's really not where I fit, or at least hasn't been so far. Um, Kathy asked all of us if I see my work as a reflection of my calling. I've always assumed a calling would require a call, that somebody would come up and say, I saw you sitting under the fig tree. There'd be an experience that I know what I'm meant to do, or at least what I'm expected to do. And apparently I was out when the phone rang. I had 6 majors in college, only 2 of which were anywhere close to what I do now. uh, and I was never quite sure that any of those were right. I've said for years, I went into this field because my friends were always coming to me for advice, and I figured I had to at least get paid for it. And that's not wrong, but it's not what I keep expecting a vocation should feel like. I don't have the story that many of my colleagues do of an amazing therapist who they worked with when they were young, or watching a family member struggle with mental illness. I was blessed not to have to deal with that. This place just fit, and it turned out I was good at it. People seem to want to talk to me, even when I don't want them to. That being said, it has become, maybe it always was, but it's certainly become something I care about deeply. It's certainly rewarding. I certainly have strong opinions about it. And I keep trying to come up with what would a backup career be, when I've cured all the mental illness out there. And I got nothing. I'm not good at anything else. So I assume this is where I need to stay. This is where I'm needed. I you know, I used to joke that when the apocalypse comes, I'll be useless. I I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to make anything. I can't grow food. I can't imagine being in a place where I'd be effective at hunting. I don't even know first aid. My wife, the plant geneticist, does that. I I figured the apocalypse comes, I'm among the first sacrifices. And amusingly, as funny and creative as I thought I was, I talked to a lot of therapists, and we've all had that same thought. As a matter of fact, I was at a training session a few months ago given by another therapist who said exactly the same thing. I always assumed when the apocalypse comes, we'd be useless. And then the apocalypse came last March, or in 2016, depending on who you're talking to. And it turns out we therapists have never been busier. In the end, it turns out we were essential, which surprised me, I suppose, though I suppose it shouldn't. My best guess, I think, is because what we do, our job, our purpose, is to help share and to spread hope. Not necessarily, unfortunately, hope that things are going to improve, because they don't always. Sometimes they really are awful. But hope maybe that we can be more resilient than we expect we can. That even if we haven't been, we can learn how to be. That accepting what's happened, what is happening now, helps a lot, frankly, but it doesn't require that we have to accept that this is the way it always will be. Helping people see that hope, helping them to model it for others, is one of the most rewarding things I know. And in a time where we keep seeing so much structural, systemic problem, where there are masses of people who aren't there, who don't get it, who can't see it. And again, a number of my colleagues do wonderful work trying to change the system. And I keep looking at, should I do that work? Is that the right thing to do? And beyond going to fan lobby day, uh, February 11th, you're welcome, Robert. Um, it just, again, that I keep thinking this, I should be doing more until someone points out again or reminds me again that when we make that difference for the person we're sitting with, when we help them see that, they help someone else. Whether they mean to or not, they're just less of a jerk. They're less hurt. They're less scared. They're less open, which helps the next and the next. It becomes exponential. It is, in a true sense of the word, viral. And, we could use some good viruses right now. So I guess that's where the connection comes in. I still don't know that I have this amazing calling. I still don't know I'll be doing this in 5 years, though I have no other good options. But that, I think, is part of how this works for me.